We're live. I got a great podcast today. A good friend, fellow top producer, Big Al. Alex Lawrence sitting next to me, but I know the drill here, Al. I got to share this to my personal page, and then we'll get started.
There we go.
All
Let's
right.
rock, baby.
Hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun talking about the market, the craziness, what we're seeing, what's to come.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go and tag, and we get going. 2 seconds. Almost there. We will go live. Boom.
Going live.
I always tag my wife just to bother.
I would. She probably loves it.
She does.
Leslie, you love it, right?
Yeah, she loves it.
She loves
it. All right, here we go. Are we ready?
Ready.
And welcome to the Super Terb podcast. I'm your host, Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Added Terb Group, Coldwell Banker HPW, a.k.a. Super Terb, a.k.a. Coach Terb. And I'm back for Super Terb episode 48. And I've got a good friend in the Super Terb studio with me, Mr. Alex Lawrence, a.k.a. Big Al, with Costello Real Estate. And wanted you to come in, Big Al, fellow top producer. We'll talk the market. We'll talk everything real estate. Very excited. Just a little bit of background of Big Al before we take our first break. He started real estate in 2018. Mm-hmm. I'm talking to a honorary or 30 for 30 honoree. Yeah. I mean, I'm this big time rising star. Yeah. So we got a lot of good stuff to share. So we're going to be right back. I usually have a real estate update in this segment, but because we're going to be talking a lot of real estate, we'll be right back and we're going to dive right in with Big Al.
Let's do it.
And welcome back to the Super Terb podcast. Again, I'm your host, Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Added Terb Group, Coldwell Banker HPW with Big Al, Alex Lawrence with Costello Real Estate. Thanks for coming on the podcast, bro.
Thanks.
We were at the summit last week. We're going to get into that here in a few minutes. Oh, yeah. And I was like, how are we not on a podcast? Or you come on my podcast and we talk real estate.
We got
just to navigate. And we'll have some other fun to talk about. Before we get started, to everyone out there listening, Apple, Spotify, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube land. Obviously, I've said your name, but where you're from?
Yeah.
And your name.
Yep. So Alex Lawrence from Raleigh, North Carolina. Been in real estate, here 4 years in July. So I think July 4th is always my anniversary date, which is kind of fun. Celebrate America and Big Al being in the real estate business.
July 4th was your when you got in?
July 4th.
Wow.
So been doing it for 4 years. Worked for a great lady named Linda Crafton team for about 2.5 years till last January. Been out on my own as Big Al's Realty since then. So, it's been going awesome. Just working
since
hard.
2018, right?
2018, July
now,
2018.
What made you get into real estate?
Yeah, so it was actually kind of comes back to college, but I went to East Carolina, thought I wanted to be the next David Letterman, do a lot of this, kept teeter-tottering between, business and broadcasting, and basically decided that, hey, I wanted to get into real estate. I've always liked entertainment. I've done stand-up comedy at parts of my career. So basically my interest in real estate was actually doing a project on Steve Wynn down in Vegas. And I was like, I want to be that guy. I want to have hotels. I want to have something where people are having fun all the time. Fast forward, I got into commercial real estate, got my license in 2014 before my senior year of college. And worked in commercial real estate for about 3 to 4 years before I started selling houses. And honestly, I'm an emotional, goofy guy is what I tell everybody. And residential real estate's a better fit than me than just jamming numbers and talking to CFOs.
You're a relationship guy, man. I think with commercial, it's got to be a lot more just number driven and less emotion, things of that nature, which I'm sure a lot of commercial agents look at residential agents. I don't want to do that.
Right. Exactly.
And vice versa. Yeah. So we mentioned on it before, 30 for 30 or 30 under 30 honorees. How did you get into that, man? Like that's pretty big time.
Yeah. So, I'm not going to downplay it, but you do have to apply. So Glenn Clem's in our office. He got it last year. And I thought, it's something I think if you're in your 20s and you're in real estate, like you want to get realtors 30 under 30. So I applied. I really thought, hey, like I might not get this. I shot a video about 8 p.m. in a office just like this and one take. And then I looked a couple of days later and everyone did professional videos. And I'm like, I'm out. But anyways, we made it through, go through a little bit of an interview process, a couple different, stages or whatever, but they said they chose me because of my video. So, you don't have to have the best content out there to, or the most.
One of my
best
coaches
productions.
always says something's better than perfect.
Exactly.
And I know you have a lot of respect in the market. I know I voted for you. That was pretty exciting to see. So we go back to 2018. I know you mentioned commercial.
Yep.
Residential. So let's just start at the residential portion of your career. What struggles did you have when you first started?
Yeah, for me, it was, just trying to get my personal sphere to trust me. I think when you first get in the business, of course, people want to use you, but until you really show them that, hey, I'm in this market, I'm engaged in this market, I'm selling a few houses in this market, but basically you're putting 100% of all your eggs in one basket, or, just really putting all your effort out there. And that's what I did. And I tell every new agent, whether they're in our office or elsewhere, just, hey, go out there, show other people's homes, do videos, put them on social media, make sure you're seen. So if you're not seen on social media, you're not reaching out to your sphere, how are they going to know to buy or sell a house?
Biggest thing that you say right there is what was emphasized to me when I really made a conscious effort to be on social, really embraced it.
Right.
I think the first thing you've got to worry in regards to social media is you got to stop worrying what you think people think of you.
Exactly.
And then second of all, you got to be consistent, and goes back to the, being something's better than perfect, but kind of what you touched on. I learned what the word ubiquity means. I don't know if you know what that word means. I did it.
I think you taught me everywhere at once.
Yeah. You're seen everywhere.
Exactly.
So the fact with social, even though we have the attention span of a goldfish, that's why reels are so popular now, because we're just scrolling. Actually, I just did a little case study, and I'll post a video to my video, like my business page, share to personal, the old stuff.
Right.
Then I do a reel. I'd have 800-900 views on a reel and 55 views on the normal video.
Yeah.
I think that's just where all the eyeballs are. So it's adjusting and going through there. What do you most enjoy about being a real estate agent?
Yeah, I think it's definitely the relationships for me, getting to meet people, buyers or sellers, to, having a long-term relationship with them, being able to invite them to our VIP parties, ask them how that house is going. And I've always said I sell space to create memories, kind of going back to when I was in commercial real estate. I want to do something that has an impact. And I think, if you can go out there and buy a great house for your family with space to entertain, get people together, to me, that's really cool, because you're actually helping somebody versus, maybe if I sold insulation or something like that. I don't really see
You're helping people.
Right. Exactly.
Enjoys, even there's a little bit of stress, a lot of stress involved, but you're, at the end of the day, you're helping people.
Exactly.
You're changing, you're helping them turn that page in the next chapter.
Exactly.
So it's really cool. So, all right. So I want to dive into the market now. All right. So obviously we could chat between us, but in regards to the first quarter, which hard to believe we're into the second quarter, what did you see between now and the first quarter and where we are now?
Yeah, me personally, you can tell me something different, but first quarter was probably one of the most competitive quarters I've been a part of in my 4 years of real estate. I mean, I was making offers on North Raleigh homes left and right, $100,000 over asking price, with a lot of due diligence, and we still weren't getting them. And it almost felt impossible sometimes, but you got to be there as an agent to encourage and inspire your clients, keep them in the game, make sure they make the right decisions during that time. But now I think, to me personally, I think just with the way the stock market is right now, I mean, there's no inventory. So I was looking yesterday between kind of 2008 and now, and I think the unemployment was 3 times it was back then. The amount of inventory we had back then, I think, was like 14 months. You can tell me differently.
Excuse me, January of 2009, we had a 19-month supply of homes.
Right. And right now we're at, 0.4 months of inventory.
Basically 2 weeks.
So, I think a lot of people are kind of pausing right now saying, hey, should I buy right now? Should I wait? Is something going to happen?
It's interesting because it's something that Jordan and I, my assistant / partner, we talk, obviously we talk shop all the time, and, she helps me with my buyers. And so we're always, okay, what's the most competitive offer we put in? And as the market has shifted, and to kind of touch on what you were saying, that first quarter, is insanity.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing how, when I look back in 2016, when the market first started shifting into a seller's market and people were having confidence, rates just got to 4%,
right?
Which, that bred the multiple offers. And then you're thinking, okay, so how high do we go? And I remember the very first multiple offer situation I was in, I was like, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. $5,000.
Right.
So then that's morphed into 10, 15. Now it's 50.
Right.
So now it's like the mindset.
10, 15%.
Yeah. And now it's, and then of course, combine that with the due diligence amount. Right. I would personally think to say, Now we're in a situation where I think it all comes down to location,
Right.
Price point, obviously.
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's really, you have to, as I tell our clients, and that's our thing is, we're the experts. But in this case, we tell our buyers, we're the new comp.
Yeah.
So really, this is the number I see us to take to win. And then after that, how high do you want to go? Where's your cutoff?
Yeah.
Because if you love something, you got to dive into it. But now it's okay. Are we up against 3 offers or still 12?
Yeah. And that's what I've been talking to a lot of agents about, to my clients about, or they're saying, hey, Alex, you're still seeing 50 to 75K over and carry on this certain property. And I'm like, I think a lot of people still have that mentality even today, because they've maybe been in this market the last 2 months or 3 months, like some of my clients have, trying to find a home. And they think, hey, we have to get 10, 15% over asking. But it'll be interesting to see how it, I think eventually we'll get back to a point where it was like 2018, 2019, where it's still crazy. You're going to have 3 to 5 offers, but it's a little bit more doable to find a house. But obviously with that, rates are going to continue to rise.
And that's the thing too, is people are asking, we've seen a slowdown with the rates going up. I mean, because I know my mom, Ida, she's been in this game 30 plus years, and she knows it better than anybody. But I also feel like with the rates now, I think they've even touched 6. I know they were close. Which, guys, people listening, that's still a very good interest rate. Right. It's just we were so inundated and numb to rates at 3, 3.5 for so long that, again, what goes up, though, is, we've been told can come down.
Right.
But I also feel like the buyers that are that impacted by rates were in a position really not to win anyway because of what, if it's a couple $100 here or there a month, the buyer that's winning out is not worried about that.
Yeah. I
also think, correct me, tell me what you think, is that's why it's so important when buyers that are listening here, or you want to get into this game, that you're, one, pre-approved, one of our preferred lenders, and 2, that we've got a range in regards, okay, if you're good to go up to 500, we're cutting off at 450.
Yeah.
So that we've got that ground to play with in regards to going over ask. You've got the ability to restructure the loan, appraisal situation. So
yeah, absolutely.
How are you educating your clients in regards to the rates increasing with the forecast and continue to go up? How are you talking about that with them?
I'm just doing the math. I mean, I think that's what, they said last week when we were at a coaching summit together, but just do the math for your clients. I mean, showed them where houses are selling right now, where that appreciation is anticipated to be in a year or 2. And, hey, I did it with somebody the other day on a $700,000 house. You're going to be paying probably $300-400 more a month, but you add that up at the end of the year, you're at $7-8 I'm not great at math, but that compared to $100,000 in equity, you got to weigh your options. And being number 3, I think we just came out with number 3 as far as like one of the best real estate markets, Wake County. And so people, they're listening to news, in my opinion, nationally, and it's not
micro.
Real estate's hyper life.
It's crazy you say that, because that leads me to my next question.
Yeah,
is do you think the Wake County area / Triangle is feeling the same market as a macro national level?
I don't think so. I mean, you can tell me, but from what I've heard from 2007, 2008, whatever you want to call it, financial crisis, even if you had a house until 2012, 2013, you really didn't lose any money unless, you sold. So I always think that residential real estate follows commercial real estate, and all my commercial real estate buddies and people, vendors selling HVACs, everything. I've been talking to them this week, and they're still, it's like project after project.
Yeah, their problem is they can't get material.
Right, exactly.
No, I agree with you too. I think everything has got its own case study.
Right.
I know we have over 70 people moving here a day. We've got people that can't get here fast enough. And that's why we've seen such an appreciation over the last couple of years, which I'm going to touch on here on the next topic. But I know I've got a lot of agents that sell different parts of the country, and everybody, I think there's one thing in common. One is inventory is low across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel because of price points, I feel like we're still in. We still have growth in the foreseeable future.
Right.
In regards to the summertime coming up, it's hard to believe. It's crazy. It's May.
Yeah.
How do you educate? So if a seller comes to you and says, "Okay, how's the market going to be in the summer?"
Mm-hmm.
What do you anticipate with the summer market?
Yeah, I mean, if from a seller standpoint, you're saying. Yeah. I mean, if you're a seller, I'm telling them like, hey, if you want to sell, now's going to be a great time. Obviously, we talked about inventory, it's still super low. So like, there's still going to be a lot of people that are fighting over the same homes. But, I had a buddy 2 weeks ago. It's like, hey, my stock market's taking a hit. Hopefully I can afford the down payment to my house. And he was joking, but I do think if you see people lose some of their down payment in stock market or whatever, we'll see how that rebounds. But it's a great time to sell right now, just because people are out there at spring, rates are still low. And yeah, I mean, I'm telling my folks, if you want to sell, do it now.
Yeah. I mean, and I think part of that is, I always kind of prepare people, because you think middle of summer, like July, for example.
Right.
July historically is a slow month.
Yeah.
But last year, July, of course, was a little different thing, because lack of inventory. Again, it goes back to two things. You got to price your home correctly, and if updating it if necessary. When I say that, paint, carpet. Look, got a comment from my dad, he's my biggest supporter.
There we go. Love that.
But yeah, I think there's always a little bit of a slowdown in the summer, naturally, only because if you look at it in July, for example, 4th of July week, everyone usually takes off. If you're in year-round school, kids go back to school right at 4th of July.
Right.
If you're in traditional school, everyone uses pretty much July for that traditional calendar vacation. August, traditional schools now are going back in, and they're getting their feet back wet. And then usually I always do see an uptick like September, because I always tell our sellers, on listing appointments, what have you, from September and then to October, everybody wants to get in by Turkey Day.
Right.
That cycle.
Yeah. Get that family at the new dining room table. Absolutely.
So as I touched on before, what's interesting, I know you're big into stats, big into numbers like I am, and always trying to provide value. It's amazing to see over the last 24 months. And I say that over really January to January of 2020 to 2022. However, it was pretty astonishing to see the stats as of last month from Triange MLS, where we've seen nearly 40% appreciation in those 2 years in Wake County.
Right.
Our average sales price now is $527,000. A year ago, March, because everybody listening, the stats that we get provided by Triange MLS is always a month in arrear. So in April, we get March. So in about another few days, we'll get April stats.
Right.
Well, a year ago, our average sales price was $421,000. So we're up $106,000.
Yeah.
And in that time, our inventory is down 82% or 80+%. How long, from Big Al's, future fortune teller, crystal ball, how long do you project these prices to keep rising?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably even into next year. I mean, I think next year we'll probably see, I don't know, I think last year we saw about 25%. This year I think we'll see something pretty similar. But yeah, I mean, I think as we get into next year, I think that the appreciation could tail off a little bit, maybe get under 15%.
That's what's funny, because before COVID,
yeah,
our average sales price in Wake County would rise about 6% a year.
Right.
It's just a nice. Now, I agree with you. I feel like by the end of the year, because going into this year, they projected another 20-25% appreciation for for the year. I think we get in next year. Who knows? I think eventually we'll stabilize. What was crazy is when I was talking to my mom early this year, I was predicting our average sales price in Wake County by early next year will be under 600,000.
Wow.
And that's when people now. That's why areas like Sanford and southern part of the people are going out. Yeah, they're having to go out because someone says I want $350,000, $400,000. It just doesn't exist anymore. It goes to this question I was asked next, when you see the market stabilizing. But I know a year ago I was like, we got about 3 to 5 years of this, because my whole thing is you got to have supply to sell.
Yeah.
And when you have 2 weeks of inventory, and really to be a buyer seller market, you want 5 to 6 months supply.
Right.
So whether we're going to be building a lot of houses real fast, it's going to take time to build up that inventory. Yeah. I think maybe as a buyer's point of view, though, you may be in a situation where you're only up against 2 or 3, 4 offers versus 15.
Right.
Because I think there is some buyer fatigue, interest rates, as we said. And I think, that some people are just taking a step back. So in saying that too, I think as a buyer, it's the best time to get in, because I think everybody, June, they're supposed to get, the Fed's is to raise the rates another 0.5%.
Right. Yeah. And I think the reality is that, I mean, you've probably seen a lot of this, but a lot of people buying, at least through me right now, are millennials. And you're saying, hey, like they, in some sense, they want to start a family. They're getting married. They're getting ready to have kids. They can't stay in that apartment anymore. So there's going to be always people that have to buy, whether they're relocating here, whether they just have to for their family. But I mean, there's more millennials than any. I heard a couple months ago, there's more 29-year-old people my age than anybody else in the world.
And they're ready to buy.
And they want to buy, and the builders didn't build from 2010 to
not at the rate we needed them. And the hard part though is people want to buy and they just don't have the liquid.
Right.
Now they're pre-approved.
Right.
They can buy, but in a competitive situation, they may not have that 10% to put down a DD.
Exactly.
5%. Helping a couple now. The pre-approved, great program through the credit union, 100% financing.
Right.
But it's hard.
Yeah.
But that's where the expectations are going to be created from.
That was my first loan, was SECU 100%.
5-year ARM. Yeah, it's a great loan. As I tell people, being pre-approved now in this market is not enough, and that's why anybody listening out here, you want to get in the game, make sure you're working with a professional, you're working with a top group. This is where their business and not their job, and they're putting you in the right position to win. Is because you want to create the right expectations up front, have a game plan ready, because if not, you're just going to run your head against the wall.
Right.
So I did a video a couple of weeks ago just talking about being pre-approved is not enough. One, you're going to be in a bidding war.
Right.
It cracks me up when I hear agents put feedback in, didn't want to be in a bidding war. Well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
2, you got to make sure you got your prices correct, right? You got to make sure if you're at that 500, we're looking up to 450. You don't want to look at something at 490, knowing we're not going to get it. And then lastly, really, you need at least 5, but in most cases, 10% of DD to put down at an offer, which again, you're going to be getting back at closing. So, in regards to a seller asking you this, and you kind of touched on it before, but all right, Big Al, I got a home being built. It's not going to be ready till November. Do you suggest we list now and I go move in with my mother-in-law for 5 months? Or do I wait till September and we list then? What is your answer?
I mean, I just sold a house about a month ago, and they, I told them, I was like, guys, let's sell. And, they got into 1-year rental. We're going to buy some new construction they're going to get in. So, I mean, if you can handle the logistics, I know it's stressful sometimes living with the in-laws or whatever, but if you can handle it, I'd sell sooner than later. Go ahead and get signed up for that.
It's funny because you and I had that conversation last week. I had a client, same thing. And my first response was, we'll wait around right for Labor Day. And then thought about it more. Of course, we were at the summit, and I called him back Monday. I said, look, I'm on your side. Just want to let you know what I'm thinking. And it wouldn't be a bad idea to get it on the market sooner than later.
Exactly.
So,
and we can't predict the market. I tell everybody, I say, hey, I can help you. I'll do the best job I can in the market, but I can control that. I can't control the market. So,
well, this has been great. I'm going to take a quick break. All right. When we come back, we're going to have some more fun. We're going to talk a little more real estate.
Let's do it.
Talk about some local beer.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got to get into rapid questions, which I know everybody is going to be loving that.
Oh, man.
All right. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the Super Terb Podcast. Again, I'm your host, Michael Turbot, your local real estate expert with the Terb Group, Coldwell Banker HPW with Big Al, Alex Lawrence with Big Al's Realty, Costello Real Estate next to me. And we've been having a great time, and I wanted to get back for our last segment here. And one thing that I did when I started the Super Terb Podcast is that not only we talk real estate, we talk business, we talk some sports.
Oh, yeah.
Depending on my guest, and we talk local beer.
Oh, yeah.
And I know the Triangle has great beer. That availability. I tried to stay away for it about a month.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite brewery or watering hole in the Triangle, a local one?
Yeah, I'd say my favorite is probably Linwood Brewing. I'm sure you've gotten a lot of people on the podcast that said it, but I live in downtown Raleigh. I grew up in Leesville area going to Linwood Grill. I remember when they had 1,500 square feet, and now they're blowing up. So they do a really good job over there. Great beers. I typically get the Hop on Top IPA. Sometimes they have a double IPA.
You're a big IPA.
And I'm feeling dangerous. You know, I'll hit the double IPA. But I love Linwood Brewing. Bowstring's not really, a brewery, but I love going there across the street. And then they have some, great ones in Durham I haven't been to in a while. But
do you have a spot you go to when you're like, I want to pick up some craft beer? Or do you have like a store that you like or you recommend, like a local?
I haven't done a lot of craft beer stores, but usually I'm getting White Claws from the gas station. But, there's definitely some good. I actually did go to one right here off Falls and Noose not too long ago.
I love it.
Yeah, I forgot what that guy's name was. Super personable guy.
If you're in North Raleigh, there's two places when you're ventured up there. Have you been to Taylor's Wine Shop? So, North Raleigh, north of Six Forks off Strickland.
I'll check that
north
out.
of 540. Taylor's Wine Shop. Cash family up there. They actually celebrating their 44th year.
Wow.
They live right across the street from Pannonia, where my parents live. That's where I grew up. I couldn't cross the street.
Very cool. That's awesome.
It was old school. It used to be a variety pickup.
Yeah.
And then they had you could rent movies and things. But they have you could pick up your local beers there. They're big in wine. But if I had a lot of people know this is I love Bombshell Brewery down in Holly Springs. One, because I like stouts, and they have probably one of the best stouts I've ever had. It's a coconut stout. Then there's Dee's Bottle Shop, which is up towards Wakefield. I know you're more downtown. But in the north side near Wakefield, you know where Wakefield Tavern is? Right. There's Dee's right there. They got brew. They actually have taps, probably 10 of them. But then if I want to go and get different kinds of beer that are there. So make sure you
And I
guys
do
go check
like,
it
I
out.
forgot to mention Aviator in downtown
Oh.
Fuquay. If you haven't gone to downtown Fuquay and Verena, they're two separate downtowns, but go check them out. Aviator's got some cool
It's
spots
amazing you
down there.
mentioned Fuquay because of just the growth.
Yeah.
I mean, Holly Springs, you know, what started all that off was when 540 got to 55
Mm-hmm.
and made it so accessible,
Right.
you know, where 12 Oaks is, the shopping,
Yeah.
and then you continue down 55 and you've got, you know, there's a lot of great things. Fuquay is a cool area.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. I know when we were on our break, I was talking to you about something I want to talk with you as well. You have agents that may be listening to this podcast. Maybe they got in over the last couple of years. Hey, I want to get in real estate.
Right.
You know, it's going to be, you know, because how many times when you're out, someone's like, man, you must be killing it.
Yeah, you're just killing it.
You must be busy.
I did a video on
I
that a
saw
couple
that.
weeks ago. And
I thought it was a great video. But for agents out there that are listening, what advice would you give them? Like, what would you say to concentrate on, to stay the course?
Yeah.
Just wanted to see what you thought.
I think, you know, at first I'd be really honest with them. I'd say, hey, you know, immediately you're not going to get a ton of sellers unless you're just making a bunch of code calls. You're a call beast or whatever. And you can just, you know, get lucky and kind of get some sellers. But to me, it's all about developing relationships. So usually those first people you're going to help out are probably going to be buyers. And you just got to get after it. So, I mean, I got a guy in my office that's just starting them. I was like, hey, go start get 50 VIPs, which we know from our coaching program, get, you know, 50 people that can potentially send you a referral. Make the phone calls every day, go out there, be in the market. And yeah, be on social media, get involved with your sphere. Let everybody know you do real estate now. I remember when I got in, I literally messaged almost all my Facebook friends. Hey, if you know anybody I can help, let me know. That's a free resource. You can go out and copy and paste the message, make it a little personal in an hour or two, you know?
I think what you said is perfect. And I tell everybody it's the basics, but the basics are hard.
Yeah. Basically.
You know, and sticking to the plan. You saw my dream board in my office, process over the scoreboard. I think we get wrapped up in, you know, we all are out to help people, but obviously sell homes.
Yeah.
And you can do everything right in this business. And either A, don't get the home, or if you don't get a client that day.
Yeah.
So it's just repeating the process for me.
And you're wearing the Super Terb, you know, you're Super Terb, the man. If you want anybody, call this guy. But, you know, at the same time, with that being said, we're not Supermen. So, I mean, I know I've called you at times, and I'm almost 4 years in saying, hey,
well, I think
man,
that's
I'm kind of struggling. And
give my boy Adam Grossman a shout. We're getting lunch next week. We try to meet about once a quarter. We mastermind, we talk, we get a feel of the market. I think, you know, I've had Jim Allen on here. I've had Tina Call, obviously my mom. We've had great top producers in the Triangle on the Super Terb podcast.
Yep.
And the same thing is there's so much business for everybody.
Right. And
it's amazing that you may have, I don't think it's like this as much. I'd hope to think that people aren't out there to help one another.
Right.
I mean, it's all about doing the, you know, helping and like I said, I want to see everybody succeed.
And have good agent relationships. Start getting to know agents.
Well, you said it perfectly. So we had 2 offers last weekend. One Jim Allen's had, and one Linda Kraft had.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew both of them very well.
Those matter, yeah.
Yeah, it's who you work with matters. And I know when I'm a listing agent, I know you do the same. When you see those buyer agents offers on the other side, when you recognize that other person, like, I want to work with them.
Yeah.
So that helps. What's your thought about an agent joining a team or starting an individual when they first start out?
To me personally, I mean, if you're just super gung-ho, if you got a ton of ambition, I mean, I know a lot of successful agents that have gone out and done it by themselves. One of my good friends sold 62 houses last year. He's always been an independent agent. But for me personally, you know, I wanted to get on a team. And I tell most folks, like, hey, get on some sort of a team. Because 1, you're going to get leads, hopefully. 2, you're going to be able to have people in your office you can bounce ideas off. There's a lot of fires in real estate where you need answers quick. And if you don't know them through years of experience, you're going to have to ask somebody. And so, you know, I really love the idea of a team. Broke my heart. I'm sure it broke a little bit of Linda's heart too when I left, but we still have a great relationship. And she understands I, you know, want to go after and do my own business. But without her, you know, I'd be nothing today. She taught me everything I know. And I know it's probably similar on y'all's team.
Well, no, I do the same. If I'd come on, I'd join a team. 1, you're getting part of somebody, depending on who that is, that's got a lot of experience. They've got a nucleus there to help you.
Right.
You've got mentors. You've got, you know, the questions. And it's amazing. I started in August 1st, 2006, and there's still not a day. I mean, every deal's different, and you're learning every deal. So to be able to have that to fall back on, to have questions, I think I'm the same way. And then whether or not you wanted to venture out or become your own entity, I think that's great as well. So I think that's good.
Yeah.
We briefly touched on coaching. There's a zillion coaching programs out there. I actually have 2. I actually have 3 coaches.
Hey, got to get better, right?
What are you? Because you'll have some agents that I'm the biggest component. It took me till 2018 to hire a coach, and it was David Kesey. Still working with David today, and I needed that accountability. Now we also are in the core with Rick Ruby, and it's great to have both facets. And I know for me that accountability, that foot in the butt, in the rear end, is what I strive for, what I want. What are your thoughts? Because there's some people I can do that on my own, and that's good. But I think there's a different level when you're getting pushed.
Yeah, I think, and where we are now, where we have coaches that run big teams. I mean, for me, that's what
Lauren.
It's what I needed.
Yeah, so you're on a team for sure. Lauren Setzer, she's our office manager.
There we go.
I say closing coach. She does it all. She's there. I don't know what we would do without her than we have. Rachel with Katie.
Yeah.
Great team, great support, great staff. We couldn't do what we do without them. Our couriers. Anyway, not to get on a tangent, but
absolutely. But yeah, for me, it was always, like, hey, I had Linda or I had Tony Fink or I had Dwayne Reeks, other people at, Linden Craft team I could bounce stuff off of. And, I just wanted to take it to the next level. So I spent last year, kind of working by myself, had a good year, but, just wanted to take it to the next level, start hiring team members, want to know what to do with them. And ultimately, it's all, what do they say? The grind's free, accountability is everything, right? So having that accountability, having somebody yell at me if I don't do what I'm supposed to. And altogether, I think it just helps you build the systems you need. And
it's about who you surround yourself too.
Right.
I think that's good. Any final thoughts? This has been a lot of fun before we get into rapid questions.
Nope. Just, if you're a new real estate agent, go out there, hustle, go get after it. We're blessed to work in an awesome industry. And I'm just grateful to be on the podcast, be able to be here with you and be able to do what we do every day.
Well, we're not done with the show yet, but one thing I will say is I've got all the respect and for you. You're a phenomenal agent. You work hard. If anything, I'm trying to teach you to wear.
Yeah.
It took me many years to learn how to delegate. I'm still learning, but in the golf cart, we're on selling houses in the weeds over there.
You've been on the golf course with me when I got to sell houses.
Yeah,
not fun.
It's on, but I've been there.
Yeah.
But no, what I'm getting at is respect people out here. Alex, you can be in better hands with him in the market if you're looking to buy or sell. And I think it's phenomenal what you're doing, and just keep it up.
Appreciate it.
All right. So we're going to get to the rapid questions. I have a lot of fun with this one.
Oh, gosh. All right.
All right. So you haven't seen these questions, so this is good.
All
right. Favorite food?
Buffalo chicken wings.
All right. Favorite restaurant?
42nd Street Oyster Bar.
Oh, that's a staple.
Yeah.
Favorite band?
Morgan Wallen.
All right. Favorite sports team?
Carolina Panthers.
All right.
Come on, baby.
And Canes.
Yeah. Go Canes tonight.
Yeah. Favorite cocktail? I know you mentioned IPA, but another one.
Probably Red Bull vodka.
That's good.
Dangerous, but they're good. They're good.
Best place you visited?
I'd say I recently went to Austin, Texas, and I love that. I love Austin, Texas.
Have you been anywhere outside the country?
I've been in Jamaica as a kid. I've been to Mexico on cruises and stuff, but I really want to go to Europe next year. So
that actually is my next question is the place that you haven't been where you want to go.
Yeah, I'd like to go to England, probably, all over Europe. My whole heritage is from basically England, Germany, and kind of northern, I guess, Europe. So I'd love to check out where my people came from, I guess. But I definitely want to get to Europe with COVID and stuff.
I've only been to Europe once.
Yeah.
Went in 2016 with my father, and we did a Beyond Band of Brothers tour. I've told you about that, right?
Yeah.
It was so much fun.
And I am actually going to be going to Cuba in late July for a mission trip. So
very cool.
That'd be fun.
All
First
right.
mission trip I've ever done, too.
So you can have dinner with 2 people, dead or alive. Who would they be?
That's a good one. Probably Jimmy V and who'd be my second one? Probably Jimmy V and my mom. Love my mom. So
okay, I love it.
We'll do Jimmy V and my mom. I love Jimmy V. I try to, mirror what he does in life. Very enthusiastic. Loves to make
Best
people
speech
laugh.
of all time.
Great at speaking. I'd say it's definitely Jimmy V.
And then the last one, this is what I've asked all my guests on the Super Tour podcast. I keep always saying this, and I am going to do it. So I'm going to make a book.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the Super Tour podcast will retire. having too much fun. This is episode 48, man, by the way.
You got to keep
Crazy,
going
right?
to 1,000.
Yeah. But the best advice you've ever received, and by who?
Wow. I'd say Michael Overton, who was my first boss ever. He's, he came from a pretty good family. He actually just won, I think, a Power of Real Estate Award here in North Carolina. But he always said when I was 21 years old, he said, "Hey, Alex, everyone puts their pants on the same." So, I don't like to be arrogant, but if I'm around people that are a lot more successful than me, at the end of the day, they're just a human. They have struggles they deal with too. And another one of my favorite quotes is, "Everyone's going through something terrible you know nothing about." So make sure you're kind to people because you never know what they're going through.
You're exactly right. No, I love it. The answers I have gotten on all of these are great. And I know people listen to the podcast, they know my answer is finish. My high school coach, Mark Miller, instilled that in me playing basketball was finish, finish. But it applies to so many different things, finish. Whatever you start, finish.
Right.
You may start that job you don't like, that file you don't like, that contract, finish what you started. When I coached my boy, Jacob, in basketball, when we do layup lines or anything like that, we miss a layup, we're going to finish it. Start there. So, well, man, this has been awesome.
Man, awesome. Love hanging out, Michael. This guy's amazing. He's been a great mentor for me. I'm glad we've connected a lot more in the last couple of years, and love running ideas from you. Love watching you grow, and love trying to emulate what you've done over the years. It's super impressive.
Well, I appreciate it, brother. No, this is going to be fun. I'm going to be happy. I want to go on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to start it up. We're going to get it going.
I didn't even know you started one.
The Big Al's podcast is back. I tell everybody I'm great at getting, for stuff I
you
get
got to
paid,
have a
I'm
fancy
great.
studio.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah.
You have this fancy studio.
I would never know it looked like this. And by the way, if you haven't been here, it's pretty beautiful. There's not a green screen on us or anything. So, anyways, had a blast.
Listen, all right. Well, I appreciate you coming on the Super Terb podcast. Everybody listening, I hope you like it. If you enjoy it, please subscribe, leave a comment. Would love to have you guys continue to listen. If you're out there and you're a local business owner, entrepreneur, agent, reach out to me. It's been pretty cool. People that message me, want to get on the podcast, tell your story. Would love to have you. It's been a blast. So, and obviously, if there's anything we can do to help you accomplish real estate goals, please reach out to me or Big Al. And just to sign off, again, it's Michael Turbot. You're a local real estate expert with the Terb Group, Coldwell Banker HPW, aka Super Terb. And remember, who you work with matters. Hope you guys have a great